Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, a pair of supplements that really go hand in hand for the Vampire the Requiem game. Requiem for Rome and The Fall of the Camarilla. Now, what these two books do is they're really some of the first history or setting books for the new World of Darkness line. These are specifically, obviously, for the vampire line. And for those of us who've been around a while, we remember Vampire the Dark Ages. We remember most of the settings books. You had Vampire the Dark Ages, Werewolf the Wild West, then that was followed up with the Mage the Sorcerer's Crusade, and the very little known one book released for it, Wraith the Great War. They all had setting books. They were alternate from now. Then when they sort of redid them, you had a lot of different Dark Ages books. You had a Werewolf, Changeling, or Dark Ages Fae. You also had for like the Inquisition. And then, interestingly, they had a couple of Victorian books, and then that's when they decided to nuke the old World of Darkness from orbit, extra points, and start the new one. Sorry, long story, even longer. I'll get to it now. These are specifically for a Rome-era setting for Vampire the Requiem. What these bring for you is sort of how to deal with being a vampire, being a behind-the-scenes manipulator, political mover and shaker in one of the greatest empires of the world at that time. Clearly, these need the Vampire the Requiem books. These give a fairly nice background on how to create your characters, different organizations. The Camarilla, which is sort of the main organization of the vampires at the time. And again, for those of us who remember the old World of Darkness, there's a small smirk probably crossing your face right now, as I have on mine. And this really sets you up to do a Roman campaign. Interestingly, they follow up with The Fall of the Camarilla. This is a one long chronicle that you can have, sort of less of individual adventures, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here, but more of chronological time posts. Here's how this probably goes. Here's some ideas on how this works. There are some really nice adventures embedded in this that you either follow verbatim or mix and match on your own, and then ultimately dealing with the collapse of Rome and then sort of going on toward, a lot of them moving on toward the next major capital city, which would have been Byzantium at the time. And again, Dark Ages vampire, Constantinople by night, Byzantium, smirking like me. Why would you like these? Well, if you are a fan of Vampire the Requiem, if you want an alternate setting where you're not trouncing around, I don't know, Mattison, Wisconsin by night or something like that, and you want to find a good alternate setting where your characters can really wallow in their power. That's one of the themes of this, is gluttony, really. Wallowing in your power, wallowing in the fact that people disappeared off the streets of Rome all the time and no one seemed to be able to find them or care. This is a really good book for you. Follow it up with this, which gives you idea for a nice full campaign in Rome, from its height to its collapse and the destruction of the Camarilla. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.